It's so exciting. I don't even really care about sports except that I've got to admit the fact that Canada is at the World Cup. I can't really look away. I gotta say. So this is gonna be like some crazy sports thing for the first little while here. Um, wow. I'm like literally you're gonna watch me watching the game. I've got like the earphone in my ear. I feel like I'm at school. I'm at school and I'm watching what I'm not supposed to be watching. Here have I got what have I got. All right, Canada, Belgium 1, Canada 0. Holy moly! All right. Hello, Nixie Geek. You watching the game right now? Belgium versus Canada. Canada's very excited because we don't normally show up at the World Cup like this, but we've shown up and we're not being complete losers about it. So it's kind of fun. Hello from the UK. Then you've got to be watching it, Nixie Geek, right? Surely the UK doesn't England just shut? Well, UK doesn't the United Kingdom just basically shut down during World Cup time and people just watch World Cup the whole time? What is Belgium doing with the ball? Cal, stop it! Oh, there you go. Canada's got it back. A delicious beverage, a good game of footy on the iPad, and I've never watched an entire football game. Yeah, Nixie, I'm not really a big believer in this stuff myself, but the reality is, I think this is like in the cultural zeitgeist of Canada right now. It's like this is all about Canada. Do they have to spit? Why do they have to spit so much? I don't understand. Is there like a necessity that very good sports people have to go and spit all over the place? I don't quite understand that. Hello, go for Fluffernut. Fluffernut, why do they spit everywhere? Why do these sporty people always have to do so much of the spitting? It is amazing feats of athletics, I'd have to say. I've just got the game. I've got the game just below view here on my iPad. I had to frantically text my wife and child to ask how I set it up because I was like, wait, do we have it on an iPad? They're like, yes, Daddy, you've got it on the iPad. What? Canada's been robbed. We've been robbed, I say. What happened? I missed it. How's our sound, by the way? Am I too loud? Too not loud enough? I hate team sports. Give me the Olympics or gymnastics or ice skating any day over football. Oh, Nixie, you're gonna hate this. This is not normal for me, Nixie. Normally, I would not be, watching a soccer game, but I feel like I gotta support my country. It's less about supporting my country than it is about supporting my wife and child, who seem to be thoroughly into this stuff. If I want to have any relevance in my child's life, I feel like I need to be watching some football. Someone was telling me there was a great article. I'm going to look it up now about the science of Messi, the science or Messi or whatever his name is, the science of mess. I don't know. How do you spell mess? How do you spell that Messi guy? There you go. The sports science behind Lionel Messi's amazing dribbling. Okay. The science behind, this seems to be, what is this thing? The science behind Lionel Messi. Here you go. This so-called London, I thought someone said it was a New York Times thing. But apparently there's like an amazing amount of science behind this whole thing. He may have been scientifically destined to be the greatest dribbler of football. Dribbler just means kicking it around the field, right? Just for those of us who don't know. My friend was saying that, yes, there was a hormonal problem and that he was going to grow to no more than 4'7" and that then was it Barcelona? Was it somebody actually paid for the treatment, and he's now 5'7" or something like that. But that he's he's got, there's a whole bunch of sort of stuff that they've been doing on him. I'll find the article for him, but I don't know if this is the one. Naturally gifted with endurance and speed, not height and a good skeletal structure. But once this was hormonally corrected by Barcelona's medical team, cyborg, it's possible the way genetic factors and training work together to produce elite performance, as described by the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Already worked in his favor. This, of course, is all theoretical, but do you think he would have trained so hard on his dribbling, sprinting, and endurance when in Barcelona's youth setup if he was a 6'5" beast? My guess is probably not, and the below video seems to support the idea. I see. So there's, I'll give you this article, but it's just the science behind some of this some of the physical sciences side of stuff. And I found a new podcast, everybody. Woohoo! I started listening to this new podcast called, let me see if I can find it now, which we should check out. I can't. Is anything happen? Nope, Belgium's still ahead by 1. Not for long, right, Cal? Not for long. Of course, I decided to stream on match day. But can't you watch and stream at the same time, Cal? Is that not possible? I didn't really realize that I was doing that. Imagine if it was all just fake so they get more money. Who? What's fake? The football? Oh boy, the conspiracy theories are already going. Vibe Pup's already got the conspiracy theories going. All right, let me see what I've got here. All right, what was the name of that podcast I was listening to? I don't love that one, but I do like Big Biology. Big Biology. I wasn't sure at first, but I've just listened to this one that talked about Journey into the Brilliant Abyss, where they talk to a scientist or I was guessing she's a scientist of some sort, but certainly she talks about the undersea world, and there's this whole thing about Orange Ruffy, how Orange Ruffy was like, it's called like Jellyhead or something was the original name of the fish, and we changed the name to make it sound cool, and then we completely overfished it. She referred to fishing as mining, which I thought was a fantastic way of putting it. The idea that we throw these massive nets in, and oh my God, Belgium screwed up! Oh, you screwed that up, didn't you? Well, good for you, because you missed it, and you didn't miss the goal. One of the guys who got the goal last time just screwed up, and I'm very happy to see that. I got my beverage going. Should we say hi to some people? Who we got in here? Well, Nixie Geek, of course. So I'm sorry, Nixie. I'm going to be talking football for a little bit, but I'll try not to make it too boring. Go for Fluff or Not! K McCabe. Babylonia 51. Wolf Pup, of course. Hello, Wolf Pup. Who else we got? David I. Hewlett. That's me. Fluffy the Cat. How are you, Fluffy the Cat? Mommy Bell. Mommy Bell. Captain Catherine. Isolate Drain Bro. What's that? All right, so curious question. Boxers or briefs? That's a good question. I wear boxer briefs. Is that the same thing? They're like boxers, but they're tighter, if that makes sense. I used to wear boxers. Now I do that now. Hi, Cal. It's a full-time job. James R. Gurney, biology is the worst. Thank you, James. Thank you, James. And let me guess, you love your Mac. It's a full-time job. Blobfish, very pretty. LOL. I'm good today, Jahal. How are you doing? Jahal, it's been a while. How are you? Why are you streaming during the match? FFS. I don't know what that means, Cal. I'm streaming because the match is important to me, and I want to share that with people like you. I want to be here while you lose. That's why. Cal, of course, is cheering for Canada because, you know, it's her birthday today, and she's very excited about it. What a weird coincidence, having, like, the game on and your birthday and, you know, and then Belgium losing like that. By the way, for those of you who care, Belgium is ahead by 1 at this point. What is... oh, wow. Doobly is really not happy. What's going on? Hey, David, 2 nights in a row. What a treat. Thank you, Mandy2462. See, it's a much better response than, why are you streaming on game night for F's sake? No, I understand what the FFS stands for. Yeah, no, I understand what it is. I just didn't want to say it. So, but thank you for typing it out of the chat. That's marvelous. I didn't realize that was a moderated term. What? FFS is? All right. I mean, I think I have sworn on occasion here. I mean, I don't try to make a habit of it, but for F's sake. Okay, let me see my Discord. We got anyone in the Discord? Should I be checking the Discord? Seeing if there's anyone in there? Hey, Fluffy the Cat. Vibe Pup. How you doing? Have I screwed up and I don't have audio on it? I don't see any green yet. I only see me. Hey, Fluffy! See any green yet? I only see me. Oh, I got major echo on you, Fluffy the Cat. Are you listening at the same time?
Yeah.
Aha! Evil, evil, evil. Well, just best bet is probably to mute it. Maybe I guess is the best way to go. Otherwise, whenever you talk, it goes. Wah, 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 wah. Are you watching the game?
What game?
Exactly. You don't care at all because you're in the States. Canada is playing soccer against Belgium as we speak. So just to make Cal's life misery, I thought, what better
There was
time?
a game. There was a soccer game.
Did America played yesterday, didn't they? Was it yesterday? The day
Yeah,
before yesterday? Yeah. Did
yesterday.
did they win? I can't remember.
I don't know.
God, does anyone remember? I should probably check that. I'm not very good at remembering stuff. Football. Sorry, football, Cal. See, this is the problem: is I lose no matter what I say. If I say football to an American, then my Americans, and as an American, if I say football, they're like, oh, like they just assume that it's an oval ball and everyone's dressed up in big, uh, gladiator gear and they've got helmets and stuff. But if I say soccer, I offend my entire European and UK contingent as well. So I figure I should just say soccer because then it offends Cal, and that's what I like doing the most, really. Footy, just call it footy. Yeah, footy. No one knows what that means in Canada and America. We've got no sense of these things. How long are the games normally? They're 95 minutes, right? And we're 75 minutes in. Uh, it's yeah, it's. I think it's just a big surprise for us, Fluffy the cat, because normally Canada isn't in the World Cup. We don't normally this is kind of a new thing for us.
Oh,
I'm gonna quickly say, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Vibe Up. Woo woo.
Okay, there we go. I fixed the mic.
What is 90? What's 90? Is that 9-0? Is that what the score was? 9-0. Oh my gosh, was it America that just absolutely trounced Qatar? Was that the one? I can't remember now. It's a 90-minute game, right? Okay, it's a 90-minute game. I thought it was 9-0. Someone got trounced the other day in a game. I'm trying to keep track of it because Baz and Jane watch it, but Jane's gone to England, so now I could just eat pizza. Right, I'm in a pretty good situation right now. Okay, USA played Wales yesterday. It was 1-1, I believe. Aha! Okay, well, that's kind of cool. It's a good game. Yes, 90-minute game. It's 76 minutes in, so you're gonna have to put up with me being distracted and footy focused for a little while. Vibe Pup, you watching?
No.
What? You're Canadian. Aren't you supposed to? Isn't it by rules you have to?
What game is on right now?
It's a World Cup soccer game.
Oh no, I'm playing Call of Duty. I don't
Oh my God,
I don't watch
Oh.
soccer.
What is Canada gonna do without you? No, I don't watch soccer either, but I just it's a Canadian thing, isn't it? Aren't we all supposed to sit around with donuts and beer and watch football games together? Isn't that basically the idea?
Hockey.
Well, there's hockey. Well, there's that too. But it's hockey. I don't know. Soccer somehow seems. I mean, look, I don't mind a good hockey game either. I remember taking Baz to a hockey game in L.A. We went and saw the I think it was the Anaheim Ducks or something. I can't remember what it was. Some team. Anyways, and a fight broke out on the ice, and our friends covered their. Thank you very much, Cookie something who I can't read. Cookies Keck. Thank you very much. So our friends covered their little son's eyes to protect him from the violence. And I look over, and Jane and Baz are going, yeah! So, yeah, there you go. Everyone here is hyped in Vancouver. Oh, very good, Mommy Bell. See, Vancouver folks. You're telling me no one in your family is watching the soccer game right now, Vipop?
No, we are hockey.
But you're allowed to spread out. You don't just have to watch hockey. It's not like you're gonna lose your hockey license if you go and watch football. Are you?
No, we're just a hockey family. We don't really like soccer.
Ah, boy. Is football a dying sport? An online discussion with David Hewlett. Is football? I mean, football's taken a while to catch on. Right?
Are we talking about is it soccer football or?
Oh yes, soccer
American football.
Soccer. See the confusion? Soccer football. There you go. That's what we're talking about.
Just call it football.
Football with your feet. It's a good point. Why do they call football if you're playing it with your hands?
Probably because you can kick it.
Yeah, once every so often though. Just seems like an odd choice.
Because handball is already
It's true. They'd already
penalty,
taken it.
so.
They'd already taken it. It's true. Mommy Bell, we are hockey. It's true. We are kind of hockey focused. It is true. I don't know why, but I don't really care about sports. As my father says, it's it's a bunch of grown men running around in shorts chasing a ball around a field. I was like, yeah, no, that's basically it. Cookie Keck says, "Hello, everyone. Yeah, don't even try to read my name. I'm from Czechoslovakia. Is that right? And Kex is something like cookie. Oh, really? Okay, there you go. That makes sense. So you like a Czech cookie. I was just thinking that if anything, soccer deserves to be called football. Yes. Yes, which is why you would get a lot of arguments from people about the fact that someone calls it soccer. What happened there? What? I missed something. It was a replay. There was a replay. Was that a shot on goal? Soccer is short for association football. What? James, you're once again, James is operating far, far above my intellect level. Because of the feet and the kicking aspect. Exactly, Captain Catherine. That was sort of where I was going with it. Hey, Fluffy the Cat, did you get a chance to look at those 3D models online?
Nah, I didn't do it yet.
I'd just be curious to know that as a professional like you in this field, whether you think they would work or not. Like whether I should I try 3D printing one and just see what it's like? See if you can actually, like, I mean, not that I'm going to be able to do tricks with it or anything, but that at least it spins and stuff
Keyboard
properly?
would 100% not be able to work because the bearings, and you can't print bearings, it's too small.
Wait, so there are tiny little bearings in those things?
Just the printer can't print it.
Huh. But Canada just got I think we just got a penalty or whatever it's called. A foul.
Wait, how do you make them then if they're that small?
I guess they're machined that small?
How do you make it out of a resin printer? Because I can do really small.
Resin could do little tiny things. I mean, you could do pretty small things on a printer, but I know you can actually print things, like you could print things that have the ball bearings inside them. Like literally, you can print them inside the thing, and then you can have like dissolving filament so basically you support them in place with this other filament, and then that dissolves, and you put it in, I don't know, water or something. Probably not water. It's probably something more caustic than that. But yeah, so you can actually 3D print things like bearings in place. But I wonder, do they have like little bearings in them? Is there a way to find out? What are they called? They're called. What's the term for it? Like, what's the brand name for them? X something or
Brand name for what?
a brand name for the fingerboards thing you're talking about?
Tech Deck.
What was that you both spoke?
Tech Deck.
Tech Deck, right? Okay, Tech Deck. All right. I'm just curious to know if there was any. So Tech Deck, I like to see if there's any like a breakdown of what they're like on the inside. It says, "Is fingerboarding still a thing?" Apparently, fingerboarding is popular in Europe, Singapore, Asia, and the United States, and there's a growing popularity in Eastern Europe. There you go.
So there's a lot of it here. I've been seeing a lot of. I don't watch TikTok, but I've been seeing like reposted TikToks of just people like doing fingerboarding with like mustard packets, like.
Oh, really?
And like,
that's kind of cool.
you know the sweet and sour sauce things that they give you?
Right? Yeah.
People have been doing it with those.
Really? There's some beautiful looking boards, I gotta say. Like really fun little boards. Let me see if are they gonna break them down here and see what they've got. They'd have to be, as you say, they'd have to be really, really, really small bearings on those things. But I guess you're right. They need to spin really well, don't they?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, I don't know if there's a. So I'm looking at a channel right now where this guy's got all of the brand name stuff. Like he's got brand name versions of all of the park and everything. Are you sure they have bearings in there?
Yeah.
Have you broken one out and to see the little things inside them?
Yes.
And how small are they? Like like the width of a hair, like 2 hairs, or what? Like how a fingernail? How thick? How small are the little balls? Oh,
Probably.
we just got in trouble again. Like roughly how wide are the little balls? Would you say that are in there?
Probably big as a hair.
About a hair? Wow. Okay. All right. So that's gonna be. All right. So all right. Tech Deck bearings. Here we go. I'm looking at these right now. Bearings. Here we go. I'm just wondering if there's a way to. Oh my gosh. They're tiny. Oh wow! So you can get like little kits where you can put them all together yourself. Like choose what you. They're CNC polyurethane fingerboard bearing wheels. Well, that's interesting. So they're cutting them. All right. Yes, they've got bearings. Set of 4 stainless steel bearings. Fingerboard. Okay, their size are 25 by 25 by 5 millimeters. How big is that? 25 millimeters. Millimeters. Yeah, that's tiny. Okay, so they can make you can buy the bearings online. You can 3D print everything and then buy the bearings for like $13. So that could work.
$15 for just bearings?
Yeah, just for 4 bearings. I guess because they're really small. I guess.
Just buy a Tech Deck and just take it apart because you can get those for like $5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is this one of those things like keyboards where if you take them apart and you build your own, it just costs a lot more? Because you just got it. They're like, you guys are big nerds. If you're gonna be making this yourself, then you know. All right, are these Tech Deck? Okay, these are Fingerboard Prodigy trucks, but they cost $23. Wait a second. Right now, this is becoming a very expensive board. What do you pay for yours, Fluffy Cat? How much do you pay for your boards, the fingerboards? Oh my God, they've got like one of those little scooter things as well. Like there's a little like a mini fingerboard like version that's actually like a little scooter.
There's also BMX ones.
Real? Oh, like finger BMX. That's how do you pedal? It's gotta be.
You don't pedal. You just kind of move it around.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say the pedaling would be really difficult with your fingers, and then trying to do the tricks at the same time. Like I just feel like that would just end up with lots of finger injuries. All right. I had a great chat with Joe Strechay today. I learned how to say his name. I said, "Look, how do you say it?" I keep getting it wrong, but it's Strechay, so it's still kind of a French sound. But which is really neat because he's one of these guys who he's blind. He hasn't always been blind, but he's been blind for most of his life now at this point. But he does a lot of work with tech companies and also film. So 2 things he does. So film companies, he talks to them about, works with them about like inclusion and equality and disabilities and this kind of stuff. Like he's actually on a movie right now. He's working on a movie right now. Oh, thank you, Oh Bush Wookie. Oh Bush Wookie has just subscribed for their 4th month. Oh, thank you very much. So he was brought in because there was like in this animated, I don't know if it's a series or a show or whatever. It's all top secret, I'm guessing. But there were these characters who don't see. So he was brought in to consult for the writers and the way they create the characters to make sure that they were legit, right? That was actually how they would move around and stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. But he also works for tech companies because one of his things is like, wouldn't it be great if we could just build in all of these features from the very beginning to these apps so that everyone can use them, right? Like an app where just I'm now getting updates from my stepmom because she knows that Jane's left, so she's now giving me the cooking instructions for how to heat the pies that she sent me. Because for some reason, everyone assumes that if Jane leaves the country, I'm gonna be found dead in a snowdrift because I won't know what to do, starving to death in a snowdrift. So I've just been sent the instructions on how to heat a pie, which I've got to admit I did email and say, how do you heat the pie? Because I have a tendency to burn these things. But I just thought it was kind of funny how little faith my family has in my survival without Jane. Still no one scored again. Canada really needs to catch up. Otherwise, Cal will be the victor, and that just is never a good thing. So that's not good. Okay, sorry. I have been absent for the past few months. Got diagnosed with cancer and had a kidney removed a few weeks back. Just getting back to life now. Wow. Oh, Bush Wookie, that is some serious medical adventures. I hope they're working out for you. Diagnosed with cancer and had a kidney removed. The kidney was the kidney removed separately, or was this a treatment for the cancer. And apparently, It's a Full-Time says there won't be any problems at all because I'll just order more pizza. Ooh, I should just order pizza. I do. I had pizza last night, though. I feel bad having pizza again. Um, Cancer was in the kidney, so you've removed the kidney, and you're feeling. How are you feeling? Feeling better? Does it make it like? Do you physically feel a difference having got something like that removed? Is that? I'm assuming that means that the rest of your kidney is functioning as it should. Then, doing good now. Oh, good. Well, so you really, I mean, you don't have to make excuses for not being here then if you're out getting, if you're out there getting kidneys removed for cancer, I think that's a pretty good excuse for not being here for the stream. I feel like we'll give you a little bit of leeway on that, but not much. You know what I mean?
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little. Well, all the best to you, my friend. I hope that I hope for more continued positive health updates from you. It's weird, but it feels like I am missing something. I mean, you are. Like that's why you literally are missing something. Missing something that was obviously doing some serious damage by the sound of it. So that's good. Well, I'm glad that worked out. Had a major organ transplant, then got cancer. I beat the cancer. You'll do great. There you go. K McCabe's already beaten cancer. There you go. Man, we have to figure cancer out. Because the idea that we have to just keep lopping bits off ourselves to get rid of cancer just seems very antiquated to me. Like, it feels like we should have more specific tools for that. For like, there should be, I mean, they're trying to train, I know they're trying to like train different cells and things to go in and just hunt down and destroy just the right cancer cells and stuff. One of the issues with cancer they find is that it's not, we say cancer like it's one thing. It's not. It's there are like so many different types of cancer and different ways that it does what it does. But basically, in a nutshell, I guess the basic description is that these are your own cells. They don't know how to stop replicating, so they keep replicating. They keep making more of themselves, and they shouldn't. Our cancer therapies in the last 20 years have really progressed. Yes. Yeah, they absolutely they have, and people are living with cancer in a way that they didn't before. But I still feel like whenever I hear like that we're just lopping bits off, I just go like, oh God, it just feels like, you know what I mean? It just feels like there's got to be a better way than doing it than that, isn't there? I mean, eventually there will be, I'm sure. Anyways, look, I'm glad it worked out.
I accidentally lied. My dad has the soccer going on the TV right now.
Oh, no way!
I did not even know that.
Look
did
at
not
that.
know he
See?
liked soccer at all.
See, your dad's way, way cooler than you thought. As long as he's not
watching it.
As long as he's not cheering for Belgium, we're okay. We're fine. So I have a question. One of the guys on the field, you'll see them in a second, Vibe Pop. One of the Belgian players has a thing on his face. He's got this like mask thing on his face, and I was curious to know what it was because it covers like part of his face, but not all of his face. So I was wondering if anyone knew what that was. Oh, Cal, I guess is upset because her team is about to lose. RNA therapies are amazing. They pull your cancer cell, perform some magic, and inject you. The whatever it is hunts down the cancer. So basically, so you take the cancer cell, so you know what cancer cell is misbehaving, and then I'm sure James would have some input on this. Captain Catherine, thank you. All right. What country are you in? USA. So I hope you got good insurance then. I'm assuming you do if you're getting that kind of treatment. That's good. Is it a Phantom of the Opera type mask? It is kind of, yeah. Yeah, it is kind of but it's like some kind of, it looks like a carbon fiber of some sort. I don't know if he's still on.
Might need to cool him down.
To cool him down? It doesn't look like
Possibly.
a cooling mask. We should find out what he's wearing because it has a mask like that could be due to a fracture. Mags Lee, thank you very much for the info. Thank you for joining us and for the info. It's pretty good. Trevorrow, yeah, you're horribly late. Horribly late. No, I have to look this mask up. Yeah, I don't. Cancer treatment often depends on where the cancer originated. Yes, and what cells are misbehaving, right? Isn't that basically it? All right, let me see. My stepmom's got over cancer like 5 times now. Some crazy it came back and then she beat it again. And then it came and then I'm not sure it was the same one that came back, but something came back and then she got rid of that one as well. And so she's amazing. That woman, I can't get over it. She's Irish. I don't know if that means she's. I'm not sure she's voting for what team she's going to be playing for, but you know. Totally random, completely off topic. Have any of you had an opportunity to try the asymmetric Ghostbusters game that came out recently? No. What is that? I don't even know what that is. What is an asymmetric Ghostbusters game? What does asymmetric gaming mean? Five Pup, do you know what that means?
I do not know at all.
Asymmetric. I'm going to look that up right now. Asymmetric gaming. Asymmetric gaming. It'd be really nice if Canada didn't lose their first game. What?
Well, Belgium's already winning, so.
What? They're not already winning. They're just slightly ahead right now. That's all. They're not. I think winning is too strong a word, I think. All right.
It really sounds like your team just started losing. So you're like,
Doesn't it?
oh,
Did we
no.
lose? Have we lost?
No. It's 0-1.
Why? What's this full time? What's going on? Why did they? Did we just lose? Are we done?
I don't know.
I think we just lost the game, and I missed it.
No, I still see people running around on this screen.
Okay, there's people running around my screen, but then there was was there like a whistle or something? What's going on? Why? Oh yeah, look, they were. Oh my gosh, they did win. Damn it! I guess my stream's a little behind. My stream's behind. No spoilers. Next time I'm watching a game, no one tell me what's going on because my stream's behind. Okay, so we lost. Oh my God, my son just came home yelling, "Go Belgium!" I have no son. I have no son. I'm streaming right now, just so you know.
That's why. Yeah, Belgium.
Whatever.
Go Belgium.
I don't even want to know you exist.
Easy. Belgium, no doubt in my mind. Actually, I was betting on 2-0 to Belgium.
The worst Canadian ever.
But whatever. Yeah,
Cal, what have you done to this? This is your fault, Cal. This is entirely your fault, I think.
Belgium on top, guys.
Yeah, man.
Where's Cal?
I can figure out how to feed yourself for the next week because Mom's gone, so you tick me off and that's it. We're done, buddy. So your teacher let you watch at school.
Yeah.
Go Baz. Go home.
He's a big football fan as well.
He's a big football fan as well?
Yes.
So your careers class was spent watching
Civics.
football. Oh, civics. What is civics?
Politics and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we're not allowed to learn politics because the TDSB doesn't like enforcing ideals on people. So.
Well, you wouldn't be forcing ideals on anybody, would you? You're
Well,
talking
it's like-
about how, you can't talk about like how the process works or something.
Remove his citizenship.
What's happened?
Let's do a poll. 1, remove his citizenship.
That's it. We're taking your citizenship,
Canada
buddy.
played well though.
Canada played very well. That was the second place team, right? Belgium.
I was betting. No, but it's FIFA ranking does not count.
It doesn't?
As much as I love Belgium, Belgium is not a second ranking team.
Really?
Yeah. Spain is probably the.
Are
First
you making stuff up, or do you actually know what you're talking about?
Because that's what my civics teacher was talking about.
Oh, really? Okay, all right. Well, he's got to know. He's a
It's
civics teacher. He doesn't
rated
teach
on
civics.
Games
No.
played, right? And
Yeah.
yours scored. So.
I like the little dog tail that's just showed up. Like, hello. Here is your ticket to Belgium. Enjoy your chocolates. I tell you what, we loved in there was mussels and frites. Ooh, we get to order food. Well, no, we don't. Are we ordering food tonight, or are we gonna just? Are we gonna? We've got pies that Grandma sent us, so we could do those. We could do pies, or maybe we could. Oh, we could go to the diner.
I have a science exam.
You have a science exam? Was that tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. What do you need to know?
That was a little embarrassing.
What is your science exam on? What can we talk about?
I need to know about microscope.
Microscopes. Do you have to know parts of the microscope?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Does anyone
I
really
know-
care what the parts
I
are
know.
called? It's like it's the knobby thing
No,
that makes
I need
it
to
go in and
know
out of
parts the
focus.
microscope. I need to know stages of a cell. I need to know different cells. I need to
Stages
know-
of a cell: alive and dead.
No, it's like starts with goes interface is most of its life. It's G1, S, G2.
Okay.
So in G1, I don't remember because I haven't studied that yet.
So
And
you're
then
gonna
it
fail
goes
this test. so-
Metaphase, and there's 4 phases of metaphase where there's I don't remember either. And then it ends in prophase. I forgot.
No, you've got an entire chat full of people who probably know what you're talking about.
That you guys can help me study.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? That has been on my list of things to print for the garden.
It's the worst,
What?
especially microscopes.
Where did that come from? Science is the worst, especially microscopes. Oh my God.
Prophase and metaphase or something else.
How did I know?
Is prophase the last phase? Because I know metaphase is like the. Is metaphase the big? No, I'm thinking mitosis. 4 phases of mitosis, and metaphase is the second phase in mitosis.
All right, what is and mitosis is when they start splitting or they start dividing or whatever?
Yes.
Is that, yeah. Okay.
That's mitosis.
Is that what you were showing me the other day? Those cells that had sort of stretched themselves out and they were like their DNA was showing. Excuse me, your DNA showing.
This.
Yeah.
Like one cell, and then they start doing this, and then the spindle fibers are attached.
Oh
to
yeah, the spindle fibers.
chromosomes,
Yeah,
And then they squish down into like a peanut,
Mm-hmm.
and then they
They go.
close and then pull apart, and then they create.
Yeah.
two.
It's kind of cool though. You can almost see that happening. I find with oil and water. Remember we played with oil and water, and it just like the way they go. Zoop, you can almost see how the cells would do it. They would that. That's why they have the little fatty lipid outside where they can go and turn it into their own little blobs. Mitosis was how the Asgard reproduce in Stargate. Thank you, Plarn dude. That is certainly going to be very useful for Baz on his exam tomorrow.
It might be. I
Yeah.
don't remember it that way.
You could throw some Stargate references in, and then maybe if you got a Stargate fan as a teacher, then maybe they go like, "Oh my God, you're McKay's kid. You should totally give you a break and give you an A."
Yeah. Just,
That would be perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. And then they'd give me an honorary
Throw
doc.
lemons at you.
They'd throw lemons at you. It's true. That's true. They would. Oh my God, that's totally true. Is your dad really allergic to lemons? Okay, great way to remember the difference between mitosis and meiosis is my toes have nothing to do with sex. Ah, that's good.
I keep
Mitosis has nothing to do with sex. Meiosis does, I guess. Is that right?
No, mitosis is chromosomes, Dad. So he's talking about sex as in
No, but
gender, right?
oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
He's talking about sex as in gender or sex
Meiosis is something to do with toes.
has nothing. My toes have nothing. My toes has nothing to do with it. So that's the great way to remember the difference between mitosis and meiosis. Is my toes have nothing to do with sex? Doesn't that imply that meiosis does have something to do with sex?
No, mitosis. Dad, mitosis is chromosomes.
Okay.
It's making 2 cells, right?
I think the miter box for my. I think of a miter box for mitosis, like
I
cutting it in
also-
half.
The thing I keep getting mixed up is ectoplasm and cytoplasm.
Ectoplasm is what
ectoplasm's
ghosts.
ghosts, yeah.
This is the ghosts.
So I keep getting like
Oh, no.
ghost stuff. Like I wrote down on my original exam for like the little liquid inside ectoplasm, and they're like they gave me half a point because they thought it was they knew
like-
what I was going for.
they're like,
but I
He knows. It's just this is just a ghost anatomy, is what it is. You know what I mean? All right. So just to clear this up, then James. Well, actually, no, I don't have to have poor James. Why should I make James do everything? I'm just gonna
mitosis
double.
is chromosomes. I know that.
Okay,
So it's like the other
mitosis. It seems like everyone else is looking at mitosis too. So there's a lot of people with exams right now. It seems. What mitosis can't be reached?
You put a slash.
Is it just a slash? That screws it up.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. It does. Okay, mitosis is a type of cell division in which one cell, the mother, divides to produce 2 new
Yeah,
cells.
See, so that's about sex.
Oh, I see. So, I see. So mitosis happens on its own. And then okay, I'm going to go back to the chat and just double check this. Okay. So mitosis is how cells split. Meiosis is how sexual cells, sperm, etc. split. Ah, okay. Got it. Okay, that makes more sense. Have you got into that yet? Or is that
No.
they're scared to talk about sex because it might throw you off or something? It might offend someone? We had this thing that came up recently that
No.
do you mind if I ask about your
The
essay?
No, don't bring it
Don't mention it?
up.
Really? It's such a good story, dude. Just saying, just a great story. Yeah. Hi, Baz is here just to ruin Tech Bandits, just in case anyone wanted to know. He's here
Is it
just
Tech
he just
Bandits now? I thought
shut
you were
up.
just talking.
No, it's Tech Bandit. Well, it's kind of Tech Bandit. Do you want to pull up a chair?
I'm gonna head out soon.
Are you?
I'm hungry.
We're heading out. What do you mean heading out?
But heading out of the stream.
There's a. I made a quiche. There's a
Yeah,
quiche
I
upstairs.
know. I was gonna grab it, but then I had to just cheer for the best, second best, not second best.
Whatever.
A good, better than Canada.
Your second seed. Your second seed winners. Whatever. Did you understand
England
you
on top.
crushed Canada?
England on top.
How do you?
One by one.
He's only beat by one, but that makes a difference though, doesn't it? Isn't that like a big?
No, it doesn't
No?
matter. It's true. Well, I mean, it does. Like
If they're
they
the
need
second-
to win one now.
Yeah.
To stay alive.
Right.
But
When do they next play?
no idea. Probably in a while. Cause, oh, did you see Spain's win against Costa Rica?
No.
7-0
Oh
for Spain.
no!
Spain
Seriously?
is so good.
But
I
Spain,
think
they
Spain
seem
is
to be
probably-
playing pretty. I thought Costa Rica was playing okay to start, but 7-0.
Costa Rica's playing.
Who was the
At-
one that got
at
killed the other day?
15 At 70 minutes, I tuned in for lunch again for
Yeah.
like my second time,
Yeah.
and it was 5-0. And then when I tuned in for the last time at the end, it was 7-0. They got
Wow.
2 goals in 20 minutes.
Wow, that is brutal. Wait a sec. You have made a quiche, but no idea how to heat up a pie. LOL. No, Nixie Geek. It was another Frozen thing. I just de-thawed it. I wasn't. It's a good one actually because you're supposed to thaw it and then cook it. And the last time we did that, it was kind of dry. So this time I was like, screw that. I'm just gonna put it in the oven and let the oven heat up to the temperature they suggest, and then eat the pie. And it turns out that it actually worked out really well because it wasn't as dried out as the other one was. So yeah.
I was also recruited for swim team, but I said
You were recruited for a game?
swim team, and I said no.
Shut the front door. You got recruited for the swim team, and you said no? Why?
Don't want to do swim team. Swim team boring.
It's not boring. You want to get fit fast. That's the way to do it, dude.
It's less competitive.
All this like, oh, let's do weights and all that stuff. That's silly stuff compared to the don't point guns at me. Even if they're fake guns.
It's a laser. Wow.
They're fake laser guns. I don't like. All right. Really?
Yeah.
You said no, Mom's gonna murder you, right?
It wasn't really
It's
a recruit.
inside the
It was more
box.
like a
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
swim team.
It's next door.
How do I go back to meet?
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry. Alright.
All right. Somehow I've got to get I got to do some serious strict parenting now. Try to get Baz to join the.
I missed
Yeah.
tryouts already. I missed tryouts already.
Oh, you didn't even try out.
No. Well, she said you should join the swim team.
Oh.
Where's Mom?
Who is she? Who said that?
The lifeguard. The person who owns the swim team.
Come a little closer so people can hear us having this conversation and me getting out of here.
Lifeguard.
So the lifeguard said you should try out for the swim team, and you were like, "No, I'm a lazy guy who just likes to play video games." Is that what you said?
I've done it. Do you want to get up at 6 a.m. every morning?
No, I'm out.
Exactly.
No, yeah, I don't have to get up at 6 a.m. You have to get up at 6 a.m. I don't have to get up at all. It's not my responsibility. Stop playing with everything. Those are just things that. Oh my God, it's the worst. He's the worst. Remember when he used to come here and we used to watch Stargate together, and then he would sit on that stupid bouncy ball and then fall over every so often? Yeah,
Where's my bouncy ball?
he's back. No, I deflated it for that exact reason. So you can only swim. Oh, look at that. Nixie Geek. Was it Nixie Geek? Who's the one who was allergic to chlorine? Someone was allergic to chlorine.
I
Doobly.
can't wear goggles in the pool because when the plastic mixes with chlorine, it makes my eyes burn. It
Or it's just the
burns
chlorine.
My eyes.
It's probably the. I have a.
No, but it's only when I wear goggles.
Well, that's
It
probably.
starts burning around my eyes.
Really?
Like, I can't do this.
It's the. I have a sensitivity to chlorine.
But
I'm a very sensitive soul.
Actually, maybe no one else is trying.
All right, so you're not going to join me to talk about 3D printing spaceships?
It's alright.
Giant, full-size spaceships printed with a 3D printer. How freaking cool
Oh.
is that?
There's PS5s in my at the
PS5, whatever. Did your gift show up for Bag of Chips?
Why is there a Lego guy over here?
Did Bag of Chips get his
Maybe
gift?
Lego guys here. Are there Lego guys?
What? No, keep. No, don't take my Lego guys. Get out of my office. You suck.
He needs to move. He's
Either learn something, or leave. That's what I say. That's my parenting skills. Okay. So there was this.
2009.
Once upon a time, there was a
Oh,
rocket
I'm
ship
taking
company.
it.
What's that? You are not allowed to take anything. What are you taking? No, that's my phone. Leave my phone. Baz, don't be a... If you ever want to eat again. All right, go. You're gonna go study.
Yeah.
I mean, really study, not study with a game on in the background. Worst son ever. Worst son ever, I say. Go Belgium. All right. I was always voting for Belgium, by the way. All right, I'm looking up my my bookmarks to see if we can. What? Open app. Oh, I did open the app. Okay, great. So I was looking for this company, which I think you would really enjoy. Ah, I know why you'll enjoy this. Dun dun dun. Okay. No sound. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on. I think I can show you this. I don't think they'll get mad if I'm showing you a promotional video, will they? Ugh, who knows? Okay. Who cares? I say. Who cares? I'm gonna look here. There you go. Done. Is this someone's channel, or is this or is it a promotional video, or is it someone's channel? It's not someone. It's someone's channel. Hang on a second. I can't do that then. What is the name of the company? Oh, company. What are you called? There's a company called. I thought it was like Relative or something like that. I've got the name. They've got their name in here. So Relativity Space. That's it. Would this do it? Ooh, yeah. This will do it. This will do it. Check this out. Okay, so this is Relativity. And they are 3D printing rockets. Look at this, built and flown in days instead of years. So that's them pouring this material into the 3D printer, and then the 3D printer like hits it with like a laser or something. I don't know what it is, but some kind of a welding tool, and it lays layer after layer after layer of this metal powder stuff down, and next thing you know, you got a giant freaking rocket. Check this out. There you go. Look, it's doing it now. You do it. You see it? There you go. So it's doing like this little like etching, but then that goes on. And they literally end up with like an entire piece, like in one go. They could probably print your bearings, no problem. Is what I'm saying. So then they've got these. So basically, what they were saying was it used to be that rockets would have to have two different, like one for one type of fuel and one for the other. Now they can 3D print a rocket that can hold them both together as opposed to separately. They got this great shot of them testing the rocket here. But they go on, they do some serious freaking printing, which I had no idea was possible. That's a really very, very cool shot, I've got to say. Check it out. It'll do this like that. Isn't that cool? Okay, so there you go. 3D printing entire rockets. Ooh, yeah. So, and the other thing that I love about it is guess what the printer is called? Any guesses? Oh, I've lost my headphones. Any guesses what the printer's called? I said it yesterday. See if I don't
I
remember.
think it's the Rocket Builder Machine 3000.
That was it. Rocket Building Machine 3000. Boy, you should have named it. You're not allowed to name things ever again. It's called the Stargate printer. Isn't that wild? It's a Stargate printer, it's called. And it prints these multi, what do they say? Multi-planetary future. The idea, though, is this. Like, why? Let me see if I can show you a picture of this one here. Okay, this one is probably going to get me in trouble for showing you, but let me see if I can do that a little bit. I just want to get into a little bit here. They did some interviews with them and stuff. Here you go. That's the kind of the lasery process where they look at that. See, that's where they sort of build it on the plate like that. But then there's these giant ones. You can actually see them. These Stargate printers, they're called. Let me see if I can find it in action. Is that it? Nope. Is that it? Nope. Is that it? Nope. Is that it? Oh, yeah. There you go. Look, it's this thing. Look at this thing. So it's got these arms, and they can spin the base. And it looks like kind of a welding thing, but it's like it welds this whole thing together. It's just extraordinary. All right, this must be all footage from their website, right? So if I look up their website, I'm sure we can find all this stuff without getting in trouble. Let me do that without getting myself in trouble. Okay, so I'm going to go here, Relativity Space. They're called Relativity Space. Here, I'll give you the link. Actually, it's probably easier, isn't it? Copy. Relativity Space. I should ask for royalties. Yeah, well, Stargate should. First time chat. Hello, Chris Pallid. LOL. Puddle Jumper. If we can ever break stuff down into atoms and make a mash of it. What's that? We're getting closer to Star Trek's replicators. Yeah, we're getting close to replicators for sure. Dropping in to say happy Canadian holidays to you and your day. Is there a Canadian holiday? I don't. Is there a holiday that I've missed somehow? Die-Hawk Titan.
So I would know of every holiday because it gets me a day off of school.
Yeah, I feel like I would know as well because it'd be a day that I wouldn't have to do anything. But so no, I think we've had our Canadian Thanksgiving. We're now to American Thanksgiving. But thank you very much. I'm glad you liked Atlantis, and I appreciate you saying so. I even used Joe's Purdy face as an avatar of mine. Oh, there you go. I would have chosen mine, but you know. Okay, every day is a holiday in Canada, isn't it? Rocket McKay. They should name one of the rockets the Rodney McKay. It's true. I like it. Okay, so let me find this technology thing in action. Here we go. Oh, they have a YouTube channel. That'll have it. There you go. All right. I don't think I'll get in trouble for this. Okay, here you go. I think you'll like this. This is good. This is good. This is good. All right. Let me show you this. Okay. So this is this Stargate printer thing, printing what they called the Terran 1. So they're 3D printing I guess it's the nose cone or something, or is it? Maybe not. But it's just, I mean, it looks so simple, doesn't it? It's just like, it looks like a pottery wheel. I feel like someone should be singing that song from Ghost while it does it. But it's, yeah, so it's printing, you see it's printing multiple different like chambers inside this rocket. And that is such an advantage to having to have separate chambers for the different fuels and stuff. But they 3D print the entire thing. And what's great about it is they're saying is that, well, because it's their company, so they think it's amazing. But it is amazing because it allows them to like design design a rocket with this robot, print it out, and then go like, you know what, it would be better if we did this. And then you can iterate. You can like build these things quite quickly, much faster. Maybe probably a better way of putting it.
Faster. Yeah,
much faster. Much
I think.
quicklier. I like quicklier though. It's just easier to say.
I don't think that's a word.
No, I made it up. Okay, so much faster. You can build these things if you 3D print them, and then, as I say, if you need to change something, you can change them and reprint them. It's a lot easier than try to make it in this way that they were doing. Like basically, it takes it from some crazy number of thousands and thousands and thousands of parts down to like 1,000 parts instead of, you know, multiple tens of thousands of parts. And of course, any one of those parts goes wrong, you're kind of screwed. So I just thought this technology was pretty cool. It's the quickest way to do it. Exactly, Christ Pallid.
Quickest way to say fast.
Or just fast. Yeah, or faster. It's Rocket Rep version 1. Exactly. I count October, November, December as one giant holiday season. Yeah, basically we're just moving into Christmas at this point, aren't we? Isn't this it? Happy New Year's and Christmases and bah humbugs to everybody. Happy
Christmas year.
Plus, they can make parts that are not possible using the older methods. That's a really good point, Mr. Clean Tracy. Hello, Mr. Clean Tracy. That's a really good point. They can build stuff using these robots that you couldn't build if you had to put all the parts together yourself. Because you can actually like build things in chambers that are inaccessible to anything else, and that's the beauty of these things. So I just thought that was pretty cool. Let me see if I'm back on relativity space again, if I can show you what's going on here. There we go. Check this out. Okay, so they'll get into they'll actually show some of the rockets. Let's see if they've got it. Here we go. Let's have a look here. So there it is in action again, building a different one. I could watch them build these rocket things forever. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Just massive things. So they're not only are they building rockets, they're building rocket-making robots, if that makes sense, right? So this technology...
Wait, can I just say something? Do you have a robot making rocket-building robots?
You got a rocket-making... What?
A robot making a rocket-building robot.
That's it.
Is that what you just said?
Well, in a way, that's what they're... No, they're not robotically making them yet, but they are robots building rockets. and then they had to build the robot that made the rockets, and then the robot makes the rockets for them, right? Like most people go in and go like, I want to build a rocket. How do I build a rocket? They start putting together a rocket. These guys were like, I need to build a robot that makes rockets, and then that's going to make things a lot easier for us. You can see a little bit more detail here of what's going on, of it rotating. It's got sensors. It's got all sorts of stuff going on. I'd be curious to know what kind of system they're using to actually, for want of a better word, weld this stuff together. I imagine it's probably proprietary, so they probably don't want to show that off. But here's how we do it. Go make it at home. But wouldn't that be cool though? Like imagine, like Vibe Pup. Imagine you want to do a robot. You want to make a little rocket ship and launch it in the park. It's not big enough to put anything in, but like you could 3D print the entire rocket, and then I guess if you think about it, you probably could do that now, because that's. Have you seen those why do I keep getting robots and rockets mixed up now? Damn it, Vibe Pup, that's your fault. Robot building
That's
rocket.
my fault.
Yeah. So used to be rocket kits. You would buy all the parts. Basically, it was like a cardboard tube, a little nose cone, and some fins that you had to stick on, and then you'd build the thing, and then you'd paint it, and then you'd shove one of these little rocket engines up its butt, and that's what would fire this thing off, and that's how you do it. I suppose now you could design different rockets and 3D print the rocket, and then shove the engine up its butt and have that go up instead. That's actually kind of interesting. People must be doing that, I'm assuming, right? Have you ever done any? Have either of you done any model rocketry at all? Have you ever tried that?
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I have.
Ah, see, I've seen it done a few times, but I've never actually done it myself, which is like I want to be the guy who presses the button and it takes off. You know what I mean? I'm going to write in 3D printing. I'm not sure why I'm obsessed with 3D printing, but 3D printing model rockets. Here we go. Someone's got to be doing it. It's got to be doing it. Here we go. Monster City Studios. No. 3D print flying model rockets on Instructables, of course. Wow. Yep, there's some pretty cool ones. Let me show you. Here you go. This is it. So you can 3D print these. Well, these are kind of neat because they've got like that payload in the front, and then they've got they're sort of skinny in the middle, and they go to the fins at the back. That's kind of neat. Nose cone, body, fin section. Version 1, version 2, version 3. Wait a second, but where did they put the rocket? Where did they put the rocket engine? Oh, I see. So that little tube at the bottom there, and then in that diagram, that little tube is where the rocket engine goes in. Yeah, the rocket motor, as they call it, I guess. And the idea basically is you fire these things up, they get to a certain level, and then they pop out the nose cone. In fact, I think it used to be that within the rocket motor, there was like a little extra charge that when it got to the bottom, when it's completely finished its fuel, there's a last little bit that goes, and that ignites and it blows out, like it fires out another charge out of the top of the rocket, and that's what pops the nose cone off, and there's like a parachute, and it parachutes back down to Earth. So, how big were the rockets you were flying there, Fluffy Cat?
I don't remember.
Don't remember how big they were? Did they were they as big as you? Were they like smaller than you? Were they like, smaller? Yeah. This would be kind of cool to do. 3D print the rocket, and then I'm doing this. I'm totally doing this. I wonder how hard it is to print all the parts, or how long it takes to print all the parts. Yeah, so they've got some pretty neat concepts here. They started with a simple concept, and then they sort of like modified, iterated and iterated, so they had a good one going, and that is great. Okay, I'm in. I think that's brilliant. I love it, because then you're not buying stupid kits that cost money just to have to do them all yourself. I would want to paint it though. I'd want to and call it the Meredith or the Rodney McKay or the Stargate Arrow or something like that. Give it like a good name and paint that on the side. All right, I'm going to try doing that. I mean, that should be fun. That's kind of a neat way of doing our own 3D printed rockets. And then everyone will love it so much that I'll get invited to go to Relatively Space, and we can actually watch them like do their real rockets. So Relativity Space inks a deal with OneWeb and reaches 1.2 billion in Terran R launch contracts. Wow! So there are people are using these, definitely using this company. They keep in all of the next big things in tech, that kind of stuff, like Fast Company and stuff. They're always mentioned in that. So I'm scrolling through it. You can see all that stuff yourself. But all right, so I thought that was kind of interesting. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Was 3D printing humans? Dun dun dun. What do you think? 3D print a human?
Clones.
Clones. Do you think we'll ever get to that point where we can do that?
Probably. I think eventually, but not anytime soon. Hopefully.
I mean, but that is a neat idea though. Like they've got these things called bioprinters, right? And that's the other thing I want to talk about today because there's this thing that they've basically got to a point where they can print single cells, right? So they in the same way that we 3D print by just squeezing, melted plastic out of a tube. It's basically a hot glue gun. But the bio ones are a little different. Obviously, you don't want to like boil the cells. So you got to come up with different ways of doing it. But basically, it's the same kind of technologies they use in inkjet printers, right? Where they use, they can use a bunch of different things. But the one that I thought was kind of neat was they use a piezoelectric thing. So like those little buzzers, those little like very thin buzzers that go like. What they do is when electricity goes through them, they bend, and that little bend can obviously be done very quickly with electronics. That little bend is what forces, which forces the ink out of a printer, which is kind of neat. So they figured out how to do that, but with individual, like the nozzle is so small, you're getting like one cell out of this thing. So and then you can change what kind of cells you're printing with. So you could print whole organs eventually. But if you could print a whole organ, what's to stop you? Like technically, you could print a whole human, couldn't you?
Probably.
But it wouldn't be living, would it? Because we haven't figured out how to make life yet.
If you figured out how to make a brain.
If you figure out how to make a brain, but the brain wouldn't be alive, would it?
The brain would figure it out on itself.
Ah, so you 3D print a brain to figure out how to print the rest of itself. Oh, that's weird. That's actually a really fun sci-fi movie. Could you imagine that? Where we create an organic brain or even a digital brain, and then it goes like, well, I want a body. Like the people who made me have a body. Why don't I have a body? So it goes around. Evil. It goes around making a body. There you go.
It goes around killing people and creates
taking their best parts.
Taking their best parts. And then becomes a superhuman who makes multiple. And I just created a movie franchise.
Yeah, there you go.
Called Body Stealers.
That's it. It's called the Robo Body Stealers. What would you call it? We need a good title for that. So it's an AI brain. I like that because remember there was that organic brain. I'm not sure if you were here or not, Fluffy Cat, but we were talking about this. They took a bunch of brain cells from a human, and there was some brain cells from rats as well, I believe. Was it human brain cells? I think it was, wasn't it? I feel like it was.
Yesterday you said human and rat brain cells.
Okay. Well, they took these brain cells and they put them on a chip, on a little computer chip. And the chip was just used to give it to give it like a little bit of electrical charge, and to sort of control it somewhat. But they allowed these brain cells to learn how to play Pong, which is that old basic video game where you just hitting a ball between two paddles, that kind of thing. Anyway, so these brain cells learned how to play Pong on their own. So then they learn to play Pong and they get bored and they go, I want a body. And they go and they start taking things over. That's actually be kind of neat. I remember there was a movie way back when that I saw about an AI that was trying to become human. I think that was it. Or was it the Demon Seed? Yeah. Wolf Pup should call it something German sounding, maybe Swiss, like Frankenstein or something. Yeah, thanks, James. It's true. It's Frankenstein, basically. But Frankenstein didn't run around trying to build himself, right? That was done by Dr. Frankenstein. He was just known as the monster, wasn't he?
Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Everyone calls it Frankenstein like he is Frankenstein. He's not Frankenstein. He's Frankenstein's monster. Uh-oh. Bicentennial Man. Is that what happened in Bicentennial Man? Oh, there you go. So Demon Seed was an AI that used a woman to produce a biological body for it to inhabit. Ooh, that's even creepier. That's really creepier.
Feels like that is an adult movie.
That sounds a bit adult to me. Yeah, that sounds a bit 1970s adult horror film. Okay, so I don't know. I just thought that was kind of neat that they could do this. But I guess the question I have, and I guess we all have, is you can put a bunch of cells together that do various different things. But what makes us actually alive? Like, how do you even define that? Like, why
Sentient.
we're sentient? Okay, but
Having a mind of its own.
okay, but how do you get to that point? Is that something you just keep throwing brain cells at it till it becomes sentient?
Well, a human is made in like an incubator, so just like incubate it is
Yeah,
kind of.
I'm sure your mom would love being called an incubator, but yes, okay, got it. Yes, so we're growing inside another human being, and
Incubator.
yeah, hey incubator, this toast is cold. Yeah, I have to try using that on. I see how Jane works. If Baz starts referring to mom as incubator, so you're incubated inside mom,
The womb.
but everything's happening but that's all. And again, there's the funny thing is like we know how to do it. Like we know how to make humans. Everyone knows that. We figured that out. But the question is, what is it like? When do you go from like the sperm and egg? They start splitting and they start dividing. At what point is that alive? Like I guess it's alive from the very beginning. But when does it start thinking for itself? And is there a stage you would get to? Like I guess my question is there like some kind of
where it will get to where it wants to take over the world is what you're trying to say.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of babies who have been born who've gone on to want to take over the world, right? Isn't there? There's a bunch of them, right? But I guess my question is, and the reason why I asked this is another book that we were looking at, which James and I were talking about the other day, was this. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's the idea that maybe life, like that spark that we consider life, like the difference between something that's alive and something that's dead, maybe that spark exists in the quantum world, right? Like maybe life is actually something quantum related that we don't understand. And that's why we're like, I don't know, something's alive one minute and then it's dead the next. And I can't tell the difference except that it's not moving and it smells bad after a while. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's life on the edge. That's it. Thank you, James. James, did you end up reading that book? Did you enjoy that book? I got about like a quarter of the way through it, and then I got distracted by another book. But I ended up downloading the Kindle book version because I wanted to see the charts that it was showing me. I mean, I guess the question I have is, we've always answered these questions with like religion. It's the soul. It's the, I mean, is there a way, do you think we'll ever figure out how to make something alive, if that makes sense? James agrees with it.
I'm not just being quiet. I'm thinking.
No, that's fine. No, think away. It's not an easy question. It's something that I struggle with myself because I go like, I know there's something. It's almost like part of it's like, how do you define living, right? Like, how do you define living in your own mind? What does it mean to be alive? And you're saying it's sentient. It's like knowing that you're aware that you're there. But there are all sorts of animals alive on our planet who may or may not.
Like being able to think for themselves. Like even if it's just like an instinct. You like, I'm trying to think of an animal that just has like an instinct to do something.
What about ants? Ants,
they're alive. They move around.
They're alive.
Stuff.
Well, okay, here's an interesting question. This is one that James will like. What about viruses? Because there's a debate as to whether they think they're alive or not, right? Like, are viruses alive? They don't. All they do is like is just like jab you and inject DNA or whatever, right? I mean, they basically just all they're doing is they're just a way of transporting their own RNA or DNA, right? Isn't that it? Plants are also alive. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, plants are alive, but they don't. The we're aware of, we don't think of those as like they're not sentient that we know of, right? I mean,
They're not sentient, but they kind of have
fungi.
like stuff that they do.
Fungi is a really good one too. Let me grab something for you. All right, you guys can talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a
Plants
second.
reproduce on. Oh wait, he's. What I was going to say is plants reproduce on their own and they grow. So that's basically kind of what it means to be alive. You have to be able to grow and be able to keep your kind alive. Wasn't there a study where a plant responds to someone's thought about it? I do not know, but I've seen that they like give out sound waves.
These are the mushrooms I'm growing. Talking about fungi. They are. I cannot get over how many of them have grown, how fast. Like, they popped up in like a day, maybe a couple days. But they, like, I'll be eating those probably like either tomorrow or the day after. Those will be big enough to eat. But yeah, they're alive, right? I mean, those are alive too. What did you decide on? What did you have?
I'm saying that if it can grow and reproduce, then it's kind of alive. Like if it.
Diehawk Titan
if
has a
it
good one. What
knows-
about fire? That reproduces and it's dances around, does stuff.
If it knows it's alive, like this kind of like contradicts everything they're saying. But if you know you're alive, then you're alive. If you don't, then you're not alive.
But do you think like do insects know that they're alive?
They move around and they communicate with others. I feel like they would know that they exist.
But wait a second. Once you stop existing, then you're no longer alive. I see. Okay. All right. So, it's just, I guess in my head, I have this, basically it's a Dr. Frankenstein's monster thing. I feel like if you took all of the dead parts of someone, if you took a dead person, is there a way to bring them back to life? Like, is there something, because there was, like, not physically what's changed in a body between when they're alive and when they're dead? I guess an organ failed or something, right? But you could be, like, dead and your brain's still working, or you could be brain dead and your body's still working. But like, what's missing? Is it because just that organ's not working and we just put a lot of importance on the brain, so we go like, well, they're effectively dead type thing? Principles of biology. What makes something living? All living organisms share several key characteristics or functions: order, sensitivity, or response to the environment, reproduction, adaptation, growth and development, homeostasis. I should know that one. Energy processing and evolution. When viewed together, these characteristics serve to define life. There's living and then there's existing. Oh boy, now we're getting really deep. Isn't that neat the way that science can very quickly turn into philosophy, basically, right? Like, do you believe in a soul?
No.
You don't believe in a soul. You don't believe that there's like there's like your personality is in you somewhere. I don't either, to be honest. But
Your personality can change in a minute, so that's not like inside you. That's.
I sometimes feel like I'm like a little alien inside a body that's operating this body, though. Do you get that feeling? Like I'm like the brain. I'm the brain in here, and then my body is like doing what it's told, type thing. Like, I feel like there's a detachment between the two of them.
That's not really. Wait,
You don't feel that?
Can you say it again? Just.
Well, I feel
put it down a little bit?
I feel like my brain is separate from my body somehow. Like, I feel like my brain is thinking about stuff and my body just does what it's told. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like if you took my brain out of my body, I would still be me. Right? Does that make sense? Like, if you took your brain out of your body, would you still be the person that you were when that brain was in the body? Hey, Fluffy Cat, you got any thoughts on this?
I think you would be the. I'm pretty sure you would be. I think you would be the exact same person.
You think you'd be the exact same person? Yeah, I do
Yes.
too. I feel exactly the same way. I'd be like, if I was just the brain that I have in my body right now, I'd have all the same thoughts, right? So what would be different? So, okay, so let's say, so we say that being alive doesn't involve your body. It just involves your brain, do you think? Is that fair to say? Is your personality, are you your brain or are you your brain and your body? Your brain would be you, the body would be something separate. That's the way I feel. Now, we're beginning to learn that things aren't as clear as just like, it's like, we're like, I mean, we've treated, a perfect example is like the ocean. We go into the ocean, we fish a bunch of fish, that fish disappears, we go look for another fish. The reality is we're pretending like, well, oh, we've just run out of those fish, but we'll get some other fish. But they're all interconnected, right? So is it possible that it is impossible to remove your brain from your body and still survive? But I feel like there are people who are being in comas and stuff who their brain still works, but their body's not working. Who you are can be shaped by what your body is, though. I agree. Absolutely, I agree. But and some people say that the brain isn't just the brain. The brain is the entire system of nerves as well. Like your spinal column is involved in some of the quote unquote personality things that you exhibit and stuff. It's a fascinating kind of conundrum for me because I feel like there should be I feel like there's a little spark that's the difference between something that's alive and something that's dead. I understand the definitions around it and everything, but I feel like if I was a brain in a bucket, okay, I'm still me. But if that brain, is there a physical difference in the brain that you could see between it being alive and dead, other than it being alive or dead, if that makes sense? I'd be curious to know if there's something like, Gimpy G is a good example of a brain when the body isn't working the way we expect. Yeah, absolutely. And Lance talks all the time about he's like, people say like, oh my God, if I couldn't move, I just want to die. Like I don't want to be, I don't want to be a burden to my family or whatever. And he's like, excuse me, like that's my entire existence. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's I think a lot of who you are, as you say, is how your body has existed over time, right? I'm sure really tall people have a very different feeling about who they are than very short people, or very sporty people have a very different feeling about about themselves than people who are more sedentary like me. Gimpy G has an amazing outlook and a sense of humor about stuff. But again, he's a brain. Like we've all got the brains, right? We've all got a brain that allows us to be who we are, type thing. But I wonder. I guess I wonder. Does anyone know of any scientific? If there's any scientific study that goes like, okay, brain that's working, brain that's working, brain that's dead. What is the difference between that? I feel like I've now said, okay, let's separate our brain from our body, so the body could. Whatever happens to the body happens to the body. But the brain is still going. Is it electrical? And if it's electrical, then could it not be something to do with this whole quantum, the whole idea that there are quantum things in effect. There are things jumping between spaces without traversing the space between them. Is there something in there that creates life? I think that's the kind of the fascinating part of it for me. Also, this doesn't take into account the microorganisms that make up a large portion of our bodies. Well, that's the next thing is maybe this whole thing is just the giant fleshy robot that the bacteria use to do what they want to do. What about that? You ever thought about that, Fluffy Cat? Like our guts are we're walking around like with a big bag of bacteria in there, right? And that bacteria, they've actually figured out, it can make you happy, can make you sad. They've got bacteria that can make ants go crazy and go go and do things that the fungus wants you to do. This whole new show that's coming out in a little while called Last of Us, based on the game, that has these things called, what are they called? Twitchers, or no, not Twitchers. What are they called? Cowl. No, it's her favorite.
Zombies.
Her favorite. They're zombies, but they're called something else in the game. They're called something else. But it's a zombie fungus. Yeah, David is really closer to working out this whole thing is all a simulation. We should change the topic before he breaks free. Well, that's the next thing is, what if, like, the whole world is a simulation? It really is, because our brain is basically coming up with its perspective. It's taking a bunch of electrical impulses from our muscles, from our what's the word I'm looking for? Nerves. It's taking from our eyes, from our nose. It's taking all of these things and converting it into something that we can picture and that we can use to get around. But the reality is, who knows what it looks like? I mean, it probably looks pretty freaking different, right? Than a quote unquote it really is. So in a way, our brain is simulating the world around us. It's not entirely accurate, anyways. Before he starts yelling tech support like Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky. Exactly, that's it. He's on a roll. Don't stop him, says Kay McCabe. A healthy human body has 10 times more microbes than human cells. A healthy person has about 10,000 different species of microorganisms. So basically, maybe we're not even a person. Maybe we're literally just a bag of microorganisms walking around, being told what to do by the bacteria in our guts or something. Do you ever feel like the protagonist? What are the chances that you would really have the life you had? A great career, wonderful wife, okay friends. Do you ever feel like the protagonist? Yeah, I mean, I feel ridiculously lucky. But at the same time, you still strive. I mean, you're always striving for more. You can always find something to be unhappy about, can't you? Or I can. Best guess so far. The brain is a physical system that processes information. When the brain is operating, processing information, that action gives rise to consciousness. Consciousness is an emergent property of a brain processing information. So that's interesting. So when my brain stops processing information, it dies. I like that. I really like that, Mr. Clean Tracy. I mean, again, it doesn't have that spark element that I still think we need to figure out. But when it stops processing information, you're basically dead, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense? Like, okay, so your nerves are all going or whatever, but if your brain's not processing anything, then you don't exist anymore because you're no longer creating that existence. Ooh, that's profound. Not profound, but it's kind of interesting.
My brain.
Doesn't it? But that's kind of neat, though. So your brain is creating your reality, right? Out of electrical signals, basically, that it's getting from up your nose or in your ears or the end of your fingertips. Like all of those basically digital signals that are transported using chemicals. But basically those electrical signals are creating a reality for you, which in turn is your personality, because your personality is how you perceive that stuff. As soon as your brain stops processing that stuff, kaput, you're done. That's neat. Now, if we could just all remove our brains, put them in buckets, and stop having to eat all the fish in the world and destroying our planet, then that'd be great. Man, it was you got to listen to this podcast. James, I think you would really like that. I put my back out. I'm super glad I decided not to take the codeine. I have listened to this chat. Go, baby. Go with the codeine. I can't do codeine. It really bothers my stomach. It really bothers the bacteria in my stomach. Yeah, definitely check out this bigbiology.org podcast called Big Biology Podcast, James. I think you'll like it. You just pop that codeine and listen to this. Let me see if it's got if I can find the show notes for this, because it's a great, the one I just listened to was fascinating. It's a journey into the brilliant abyss with Helen Scales. And she talks about these amazing things like these crazy crabs that they have down by those hot vents where the lava comes up into the sea. And there's all these amazing giant crabs that wander around there. There are these things called, I can't remember the name of the crabs now, but one of them were called, what are they called? The Hoff. They're called Hoff crabs. You want to know why? Because of David Hasselhoff. They brought these samples from these crabs from around these volcanic vents. And they had these hairy chests, and on the hairy chests, is where all the little microbes would live. So I guess the hair is there to catch the microbes, or the microbes are there to work off this chest hair. And they thought, what could they call these crabs that have these wonderful hairy chests? And they thought they were like maybe Sean Connery, and then they're like, nope, the Hasselhoff. So he got a crab named after him. Yes, Alaskan Yeti crabs. That's it. It's the Yeti crabs. They are crazy, crazy cool. In fact, I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna look at that link that the wonderful James Gurney has sent me. I'm sorry you've thrown out your back, buddy. How did that happen? What did you do? I can't even imagine James Gurney getting hurt doing anything. I just assumed he was is perfect in every way. Let's do it. Oh, look at them. Oh my God, you got to see these. You've got to see these. I'm pulling them up right now. James, thank you so much for that. That is freaking awesome. Check that out. That is a Yeti crab. And I know exactly why they're called Yeti crabs. Because they look like giant freaking Yeti arms. Oh my God, those are beautiful. Those are stunning. So the sense I get is that they only exist in this environment. That's crazy. And all those hairy legs, I'm guessing, have little microbes living in them as well. They are not Alaskan Yeti, apparently. I misremembered the name. What? You got it wrong? They're just Yeti crabs, I believe. She just called them Yeti crabs, which I thought was great. So that is a Yeti crab. That is amazing. We should look up the Hoff crab, though, too, just because I think that could be quite funny, too. Hoff crab. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Is that it? The Hoff crab. It's a Kiwatilleri. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. That's the worst description of it ever. Okay, so it's a type of Yeti crab, maybe. Is that right? Looks like it might be a type of crab. So that's David Hasselhoff, in case you don't know who that is. Some of us amongst us might be too young to know that. But then they've got these ones that are, so unlike the Yeti crab, which are hairy on the arms, this wonderful sort of fluffy hair, they've got these ones, which are these Hoff crabs, which have a fluffy underbelly. And they've got so much fluffiness going on that they thought, wait a second, we got to call this. Is that the same one? I don't know if that's the same one. That's the Hoff crab, yeah. So they go, oh my God, look at all that big hairy chest that crab has. What are we going to name it after? And they decided to name it after that. So David Hasselhoff was an actor who used to work in a show called Baywatch, and he also did my favorite show, which was a Knight Rider. He's the guy who rode in the car that could talk, which is no big deal now, really. Hoff crab, there you go. So it's this again, just these weird-looking crabs with fuzzy chests that are named after them. So, anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. All right, thank you very much, James, for finding that. Let's find out what happened to James's back. Did we find out yet? He was fighting a crab. What a weird coincidence. He was fighting a giant Yeti crab, and he hurt his back. Wow, it's so topical. Okay. You would know I did a movie with a Yeti. Oh, God, did I ever. Oh, it's terrible. They look like feathers, don't they? They're beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Oh, I just remembered a very tech-bendy thing.
What do you got?
You know how I was saying that our school has a Dungeons & Dragons club?
Ooh, yes, indeed. Have you joined?
Yeah, I joined.
Nice.
We are staying after the school tomorrow.
To play a game?
We're gonna be creating our characters,
Dude, you have a character.
I don't want to use the same character. I've already created a very fun character.
All right, what do you got?
I've actually made 3. I don't know which one I want to pick.
All right. We'll get some advice from the chat. See what people think about these.
I have made a tiefling rogue.
Wait a second. I gotta look these up. A tiefling rogue?
Yeah, a tiefling rogue.
All right, I'm looking them up.
A Goliath blood hunter. That's not using base rules. That's using other stuff, but we're allowed to do that.
Blood hunter.
And then.
Okay, so that's like the guy from God of War.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And then I did a fat dragon named.
I like that.
A fat, very short dragon that is very sneaky.
Ah.
I made him also a rogue. It's because I think it would be very funny if I were to just kill someone and just say, I want to fall off the stairs onto him.
Ooh, nice. Like it's more like a
Is it-
more like a clumsy dragon.
Because I could just crush people. Because I made him like 250 pounds.
Sweet. So you're a giant
No,
clumsy.
I made him 450 pounds.
Oops, sorry, I stepped on you. That's cool. So you did do some serious damage if you went into combat with anybody.
If I land on you, you're dead. That's
Couldn't
basically
you,
it.
would you also be a risk to your party as well? Like, oh shoot, I stood on Nancy, now she's dead. Is that like would that
Good
be
point.
fun? You know, that's. Oh my gosh, James R. Gurney was putting the dishes away. That'll do
I'm
it.
back.
Never clean up. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Do you ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
It's really kind of fun, I've got to say. You'll have to we'll
Really
have to
kind of.
we'll have to do another well, it's fun, but poor James has to put up with it the whole time. So maybe while James is recuperating, we'll do like another Tech Bandits Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know who's left in the Dungeons and Dragons Tech Bandits now. They've all gone off to to high school now, right? They're all grade 10s, and they've got cool things to do, like go out and hang out like teenagers and stuff like that at the mall. D&D is the best, apparently. Yeah. We could do like a mini one. What's the least amount of people you can play Dungeons and Dragons with, James? Is there like a limit to how
Ooh.
could you, well, I'm just saying, like, could you play with, like, if it was me, you, and Fluffy, could we actually play a game? One. Oh dear. James Gurney plays Dungeons and Dragons by himself. You know that's what I used to do, right? I used to play Dungeons and Dragons by myself with my Commodore 64. I would write random code generators, random number generators that would pull up various different scenarios, and I would play myself. I'd play against myself in on the Commodore 64 because I was too embarrassed to ask anyone else to play because everyone thought I was cool. Stupid spines. Okay, so 3 people, 1 dungeon master, and 2 players. That's all you need? Hey, Fluffy, would you play? Would you play if we played a game of Dungeons and Dragons? Would you join us?
Yeah, sure.
What kind of character do you think you'd play?
I don't know.
Would you be?
I just want to ask him like
Yeah,
a
go.
better question.
Go.
Would you want to sneak in and like hit people? Would you want to do magic, or would you just want to hit
Bash
stuff with a hammer?
Bash stuff. Yeah.
Sneak.
Sneak.
So he would want to be a rogue.
It's like a rogue. Okay, rogue. A rogue of some sort. Then. All right. So you want to sneak? Do you want to use magic while you're sneaking?
Sure.
Do you have to choose? Can you not be like a sneaky magician with cool weapons?
I actually do not know.
I guess it depends on the dungeon master and what rules he makes. James's dungeon master rules are that he just wants to kill everyone all the time. That's basically James Gurney, who's in the chat. Fluffy the cat is like the best dungeon master you could ever dream of. Just so you know.
Except that he likes to kill people with the bats.
He likes to kill people with bats. It's true. Yeah, it's true. He's kind of mean. He's kind of a mean dungeon master, but he's kind of fun anyways because he makes up voices and then you
Fun,
can make.
even
Yeah.
it's fun. It's because you get to make fun of the voices. Is that what you're going to say?
I was gonna say that, but I held back. I was like, because then we could like laugh at. What was the one that he was talking about? I want to get. We've got a new dick. You can't come and join us on the new dick. And we were like, what the hell is he saying? He was saying deck, but in South African, with a South African accent, it sounded like he was saying something very rude, right? We were like, why is he talking about, not his deck? So yeah, but although he played, I think that might have been actually for the adult one. Now I think about it, but never mind. You can multi-class, or there are subclasses in Rogue that lets you cast. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, Sci-Fi Gal says, sure you can. I was a sneaky rogue halfling who was an expert archer. Ooh, what about that, Fluffy Cat? A sneaky rogue halfling. I guess that means like half human, half elf or something. Who was an expert
Sounds
archer.
of a normal human.
Oh, it's literally just like a short human?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Gotta go, folks. Cabe and Cabe, thank you so much. Enjoy. Thank you for coming by. James, I'm still super happy with the house fight. The deck guy was the same game with you and Barnacles. Right. Yes, of course, that's what it was. It was at Barnacles once, right? The adult D&D was amazing also. I know, the problem was trying to get everyone together. And then I got busy, and then it all fell apart. I like the idea of doing it with not too many people. I think that's a good idea, so it doesn't get too crazy. It got to the point. Excuse me. It got to the point with the Tech Bandits one that we had there were 6 or 7 people playing, wasn't there? It took forever to get through it.
Yeah.
D&D talk is all technobabble to me. Yeah, it is a bit. It can be, but here's what I like. James Gurney. Because James Gurney... Yeah, James Gurney makes it simple, and then it's only as complicated as you want it to be. So you can play Dungeons & Dragons, you could literally just go okay, we're playing Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to just make up the rules as we go along. But the basic premise is that you've got someone who's come up with a campaign, someone who's come up with a story that they want to tell you, and then your job is to come in and try to screw up that story as much as possible. That's basically how it works, I think.
I remember when I rolled a natural 20 on smelling a cup.
You rolled a 20 on smelling a cup.
Yeah, in the Tech Bandits campaign.
Was that real? I don't remember that.
We were going into the alive house, and I didn't want to enter the room alone, so I just said, I want to smell a cup.
Nice. Baz kept going to have naps. He's like, I'm going to go to sleep. What? It was all the teenagers were sleeping. Or they would suddenly go we're being attacked by vampires? I want to be a vampire. And you're like, great. We just lost half the team because now they're going to go and join
They also ate the stuff. They also ate the cheese.
They ate the cheese. They ate the old cheese. Oh, my man. Fluffy the cat. We're in a boat in Dungeons & Dragons. We're in this giant boat. And my son, who you just saw come in, my son and his friend Bag of Chips, they found a piece of old cheese, and they decided to eat it. And then they were half dead for the rest of the game because they ate the stupid cheese. I thought that was cute. Would you play?
Eat cheese.
You don't eat. Well, you can eat cheese. Just don't eat don't eat the poison cheese at the back of a boat. In real life, no. It was in the game. He doesn't eat poison cheese in real life. He wouldn't have survived that long. Oh my god! I've got to start sleeping. This is crazy. I had to go. I went to my what's it called, physiotherapist today, where they went and he goes in and he finds all the spots in your back that hurt, and then he hits them. He pokes them with his thumbs, and he calls that therapy. All right. So would you play a graveyard caretaker? Ooh, that'd be cool. Maybe I'll play someone undead. Maybe I'll play someone really cool this time instead of what did I play? Basically Barney the dinosaur was the one I was playing before, right?
I think I should go as a fat dragonborn.
Fat dragon. Oh my god, fat dragon. There you go. Be fat dragon. All right. So
sneaky guy, because James Gurney is an amazing dungeon master, so I think he should make a rule of just me jumping on people and they instantly die.
That'd be a very short game. It's like Vibuck jumped into the air and crushed everyone. Acupressure on the back. Yes, I'm sure that's what it is.
That would be the first turn for us. It's just.
Sorry, I was gonna say hi to Smurfy313, who's just said hello from Ireland. A place that I'm dying to go to, by the way. I'm actually I've got Irish somewhere, blood in me somewhere, because my dad's Irish, right? So I guess I could say that's where I get it from. But yeah, but I've never been there, and I think I could even get a passport for Ireland if I want to. All right, top of the evening to you, says Abadoo, who's doing what sounds like a terrible Irish accent. Okay. So I miss all the D&D playing all the time. Somehow I miss all the D&D playing all the time. Yeah, it's always at weird times. It's true. We should try to do a Tech Bandits. We should try to do a Tech Bandits D&D, on during the week somewhere. What if you maybe I could go as a Hoff crab. I could go as a hairy chested crab. Do they have crabs? Giant crabs? Is that something I could do in doing it? James is always down for D&D. Oh, by the way, that's right. Someone was emailing me. I completely forgot about this. I wonder if James knows anything about this. There was a D&D person who D&D. I wonder if that's it. Wait a sec. No. Nope. Someone was trying to get in touch with me about showing me some new Dungeons and Dragons thing that they had they'd I don't know if they worked for the company or what it was, but God, does anyone know? If they're watching, let me know. Please let me know. But somewhere in my emails, there was a damn it, I gotta find it. Okay, I'm gonna find it. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna go find this right now. I think it was a dungeon. Maybe it was a. Was it a dungeon? I'm just gonna put that's it. Dungeon Alchemist AI Map Builder. Have you heard of this?
Sounds crazy.
So Blake poor Blake tried to nail me down for a chat, and of course I just was always too busy, it seemed. But it's Dungeon Alchemist Community Manager. Okay, Dungeon Alchemist. Let's look it up. Let's look it up right now and see what it is. See if it looks cool or not. Paste Dungeon Alchemist. Okay, a fantasy game map making software. It's the first thing that comes up. Okay, I'll share my stream so you can see what's going on. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Okay, so this is it. Dungeon Alchemist AI map generation. That sounds kind of cool. I mean, the idea if you could, but then wait a sec. Does that mean so I could play by myself? I wouldn't need James Gurney anymore. Perfect. Select one of our themes, and you're off. Dungeon Alchemist's AI dynamically populates the rooms you draw. It adds doors, walls, lighting, furniture, and objects on the fly, so you can concentrate on experimenting and having fun. That's kind of neat. If you would like, I'll put the link in. Copy.
I think it would be very fun to play a Dungeons and Dragons like in the mountain.
We've been in the mountain. We fought the dragon in the mountain once, didn't we?
There
was the white dragon. There was a white dragon, and we had to kill it. And yeah.
I meant, by that I meant like in like snowy area, like instead of always in like woods, like put us into like snowland.
Ooh, a snowy like a Game of Thrones winter is coming kind of thing.
I wasn't even thinking of that, but yeah, that would
kind of cool. I could play an Ice Walker, one of those creepy like dead like ice zombie things. They're kind of cool.
I think you just made it so now James Gurney has to make a.
Yeah, I feel like we're like handcuffing James Gurney into like doing our story.
I wasn't saying that he should make it complete on that. I was just thinking it would be cool to be like a snowy area.
You could be like a snowy dragon, a snowy
mainly
snowy
so I
dragon.
can just abuse the Goliath cold resistance.
James, what was the name of the program you used? That was spectacular. What you were using to do stuff. Hightail or high? What was it called? No. Tailspire. That was the one. I'll look that up too because that was great. And they were really cool too. Didn't they like help you out with stuff? Tailspire. Tailspire. Here you go. Tailspire. This. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is pretty cool. All right. Okay, well, Fluffy, if you're interested in some Dungeons and Dragons, James and I will talk and we'll figure something out. What's the best thing to do though? Is we should probably just play instead of trying to do it on a weekend and getting everyone together. Maybe we should try to do it like. Although I say that, try to whenever it's good for James. But maybe we should do like a Tech Bandits. Maybe we could do a Wednesday, like a Wizards Wednesday or something, and just do like do like a couple of hours like this. Only do it with Dungeons and Dragons instead. I just realized you're McKay. Oh my God, Ballistic Gamer just figured it out. Oh my gosh, happy Thanksgiving to me. What a pleasant surprise. Oh, well, I'm so glad that is a pleasant surprise for you. For many people, discovering that I'm actually Rodney McKay would be a very unpleasant surprise. So you're welcome. Thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it. They talked about doing a deal if we did more with Tech Bandits. Oh, really? Did they? And that's when the Dungeon Alchemist moved in. I guess there's a little jockeying for position now for who's using these things. McKay is Hewlett. It's the other way around. Exactly.
What do you mean by deal?
Yeah, what do you mean by deal? They're going to pay us money, James? Are we going to get lots of money? Are we going to be rich? Are we going to get, like, pots of gold? To me, White Dragon makes me think of Anne McCaffrey. Oh, I know, and Lord Jackson and the White Dragon Ruth. Yeah, the Anne McCaffrey stuff, I read up, not all of them. I didn't get sort of like, I didn't go fully down that rabbit hole. What I did was I started reading a few of the Anne McCaffreys, and then I got into Doctor Who books, and then I started reading. That's all I read. Free seats for the bandits. What does that mean? I don't know what a free seat means. We get free chairs. We'll get free chairs if James.
I think he means that we would get the.
So we get to use the game without. We get to use it without having to pay for it. I mean, the reality is that's what the I mean, that's fantastic if we can get free stuff. If not, I'm sure Tech Bandits can cover that.
That's what he meant. Just
That's what all these wonderful supporters are for. Those dragon books, yeah, they were good. I got to meet Anne McCaffrey at my first Dragon Con. Holy wow! Seriously? Wow. She only recently died, right? Or as we say, her brain stopped processing information only fairly recently. I got. Isn't that what you wanted the Tech Bandits to be able to do? Says Sci-Fi Gal. Deal exactly. That's exactly no Sci-Fi Gal. That's exactly it. Like that's the whole point of the whole, that's what these wonderful Patreon folks are doing for us, and all these subscriptions and stuff just goes into a pot that we use for this kind of stuff. So, but of course that said,
I'll put Dungeons and Dragons with you guys.
oh, fantastic! That's great. Okay, then we'll do, but we'll have to. But James, would it drive you nuts if we went through and created characters again? Would that drive you like totally bonkers? James will. I warn you, Fluffy the cat. James will give you homework, and you will have to figure out what kind of character you are, and come up with a backstory. I know that's what he's going to ask you to do. You up for that?
Sure.
Cool. It's actually really fun. You get to go like, I am a giant fat dragon who's only eaten McDonald's for the last 100 years. And I'm on the lookout for a giant triple Whopper from Burger King. And I'm a little hungry. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but
I just wanted to say, now that you said that, that reminded me of something. I made my dragon a fat, short dragon that's paranoid with schizophrenia.
Oh, really? A paranoid schizophrenic dragon? That I do not.
Yes.
I don't want to be on your team. You're like a liability. You could go nuts and turn us all.
I just made my character as weak as I possibly could.
Really? So you're playing your first Dungeons and Dragons game at school tomorrow?
No, we're finishing building characters,
Oh,
but
I see.
we might
Okay.
start.
And how many people are in the club now?
I actually think around like 20, 40.
Really? My guess is that it got popular again because of Stranger Things. Do you think that's part of it?
Maybe.
Did you ever watch Stranger Things?
Yeah, I really liked it.
I love that. That's great.
I just kind of got told to watch it from friends.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a bit silly to the end for me, but they always do. No one knows what to do with the end of a horror, mystery thing. But it's pretty creepy. But I guess if you don't know Fluffy the cat, it's in Stranger Things they play Dungeons and Dragons. Certainly, mainly more in the. I was gonna say, no, I guess the latest one had a lot of Dungeons and Dragons in it too, didn't they? They had that new Dungeon Master guy, right? Who was
spoiling anything? They kept killing my favorite characters.
Don't say that. Oh yeah, me too. Actually, now I think about it.
Without spoiling anything, like I'm not saying who my favorite character is, but they just kept killing them off.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. Sorry, Gaminator 2021 saying that there was always a base core Dungeons and Dragons fan base, but I feel like Stranger Things brought in a younger fan base and really got the people who like. People like me who I played a couple times when I was, I was like I said, I made little computer programs for myself and stuff. I never really played official games or anything. A couple of times in my lifetime, maybe. And then as soon as you watch Stranger Things and you get all the people who are so excited about it, that got me excited about Dungeons & Dragons a bit as well. I don't know why it came up actually. I found a bunch of Dungeons & Dragons books in the garbage, which was which got me excited about it as well too. So,
Or
books, yeah, a whole bunch. There were all the manuals. There was like a box of books that I found on one of my geek trash runs, and it was all these old Dungeons and Dragons campaign books and monsters guides and dungeon masters guides and all that kind of stuff. And it was just so cool. That was ages ago.
I feel like it was just
What?
you know how people are saying that that's like Satanism. I think that was just someone's parents figured. A lot of people used to say that Dungeons and Dragons is Satanism. So
There was
so
yeah.
someone's parents probably found that was just like, oh, and got rid of them.
People got freaked out for a while there about there was like this weird sort of, they called it the Satanic Panic. I'm gonna look it up. The Satanic Panic, and it was like a oh, here you go. According to the Wikipedia, it says that it was a moral panic. So people got freaked out because they thought there were over 12,000 unsubstantiated, so in other words, not backed up by any facts, cases of satanic ritual abuse starting in the United States in the 1980s. So around the time that Dungeons and Dragons was sort of what do you say, starting up? Was Dungeons and Dragons, when did that start? I feel like it started like in the 70s or the 80s. But around the time of Dungeons and Dragons, when it there was this like this crazy Christian bunch that decided that people were sacrificing children and women to satanic gods and things. So there was this big crazy freak out that happened, and it was apparently the baseless conspiracy theories about satanic cults back in the 1980s. Does anyone know when Dungeons and Dragons started? When was Dungeons and Dragons? Let's look that up.
It's just up.
When did it start? Oh, 1974. Woohoo! In sync. Bingo. When did 2010? Yes, 1974. So that makes sense. So 1974 it's created. The early 80s is when this Satanic Panic thing, and I imagine there must have been some crossover there where they're like, oh my God, they're talking about sacrificing things to beasts, and of course there's just people playing a game, right? I mean, that's, you know. But I wonder if that was, I remember an after-school movie, okay? Get this is how old I am. I remember an after-school movie in the 80s that was about the perils of Dungeons and Dragons and about a kid who didn't know what was real and what wasn't because he was playing Dungeons and Dragons. How about that?
Very sorry, this may make you feel old because I asked this. What's an after-school movie?
So there was a type of movie that they used to do that was aimed at kids coming home from school. So you came home from school, and then in the sort of early evening, they would play these movies that were aimed at kids who would be at school. And the reason was because we didn't have, like, you could only watch something when it was on. You couldn't watch it. Well, you couldn't choose when to watch something. You would turn on the TV, and if it was on if you turned the TV on at the right time, you would be able to watch the show. If you missed the show, you missed the show. That was it. So it was entirely it was entirely up to the networks what they played when. And they had this type of movie called after school movies, and they were usually like kind of cheesy, you know, like cheesy little romances or cheesy mysteries or cheesy sort of pseudo horror movies. And one of them was this cheesy movie about this kid who went crazy because he was playing Dungeons and Dragons and he didn't know what was true and what was a golem. You know what I mean? So there was there was a lot of that stuff. Total cheese. It's basically, you know those Hallmark movies, those bad Hallmark Christmas movies or romance movies? You know those things? Have you ever seen them? Probably not.
I've seen them.
Yeah, okay. Well, so it's that kind of thing, only it was done, they would just do them like during the week for things. Mazes and Monsters. There you go. No. Based on a 1984 Christian comic. No freaking way. Watcher652, you have blown my mind. So look at that. So it was a Christian comic that was preaching the gospel of evil Dungeons and Dragons games. That's pretty wild. There's a fun Stranger Things fan theory says that all of Stranger Things is one big Dungeons and Dragons campaign. That would be cool. Could you imagine that if they did that at the end of the whole series? If they went you pull back and reveal that it's actually someone playing a game. That would be cool, actually.
I would hate that. I think that would just be a complete
a ripoff, like just really bad. Would you feel robbed?
Well, you know how of the Five Nights at Freddy's dream theory and how everybody got angry at that? It would be the same thing.
Yeah.
Where it basically just ends off saying, yeah, it was all a dream. Haha.
It does feel a bit cheating somehow when stories are like, oh, it's all a dream. It's like, what? Shut up. Yeah, it always feels bad. Those religious dogma movies are the worst. I mean, well, yes. I mean, it's funny, I'm not allowed to say what Baz's essay was about, but there was an essay that Baz wanted to reference the Bible in, but he wanted to reference the Bible as a work of fiction, and he since decided not to do that because he thought, there was a whole bunch of
Some
reasons.
people would probably get angry at
Someone might get angry, exactly right. Which I don't think is a good reason not to do something. But anyways, I'm not blaming him. I understand his position entirely. But anyway, but the point is, but he doesn't know a lot of Bible stories because I grew up with the Bible. Like I was raised to be like super uber Christian. Like we had to go to church. We did like chapel every morning. We did like church every Sunday. We did like holidays was just a million freaking religious church things. My grandparents were missionaries in Africa. I mean, it was like, it's insane. Like it was all religious. And what was the point of this? What was I saying? Oh, right. So I know all the Bible stories. Like I know, I don't know all of them, but I know most of them. Although for some reason they didn't do a lot of Revelations, which is the best book in the Bible because it's all about like the end of the world and how we're all going to die and the beast with 1,000, it's amazing. It's the best, honestly, the best book in the Bible is Revelation.
What?
It's this crazy one at the end. But the stories in the Bible are great because they're kind of like fables, right? They teach you certain, I mean, some of them are just weird, but there is a lot of fiction even today, a lot of movies even today are based on stuff that was in the Bible, right? I mean, the Bible just ripped it off from someone else as well, but the point being is that there are some themes and some story ideas in there that are used all the time. The big one is like Jesus, the idea that someone died for someone else's sins and rised again and all that kind of stuff. So that's like a theme that you'll see in a lot of movies and stuff. But Baz didn't know a lot of them, so I thought, well, okay, if he wants to do an essay that involves the Bible, he should probably know some of the stories in the Bible. So I bought an Old Testament and a New Testament manga version of the Bible. It's like a manga version, like except that it's obviously it is actually like a Christian thing, so they're respectful, I guess, but which is too bad. It'd be fun if they weren't. But they call it manga, but it's not manga because they didn't do it backwards the way those manga books are. Manga books are supposed to start at the back and go the other way. That's how the Japanese did their comics. But this one doesn't. So right away I was like, this ain't manga. This ain't. It was like Jesus manga, as it was called, or something like that. Anyways, my favorite moral story is don't mock bald men or a bear will eat you. That's a good one, Fluffy the cat. That is a good moral story. Don't mock bald men or a bear will eat you. That's good to know. All right, what's James Gurney up to now? My favorite moral story is, yes, that's it. It wasn't. Fluffy the cat liked that. Very good. Yeah, it's true. There you go. That's a great moral. I like the one I was telling Baz about the other day was it Abraham? Who was the guy who I think it was Abraham. God spoke to Abraham and said, "Bring me your child and sacrifice him at the top of this mountain."
Binding of Isaac is based off of that.
What is it?
Binding of Isaac.
What's that?
It's a game that I'm actually pretty sure I've seen Baz play.
Oh, really? The Binding of Isaac. Really? What is it? I honestly don't know anything about the Bible except Revelation. So that's so funny, Captain Catherine. The Japanese just didn't do their comics backward. That's the way they normally read books. No, that's I understand that, Watcher. I'm just like, compared to the books that we would read, it seems backwards to us, if that makes sense. That's it was Abraham and Isaac. That's right. Thank you, Ballistic Gamer B. Abraham was asked to sacrifice his son. Yeah. So we're like, we're just kids at school. And then this story comes up. It's like, well, yeah. So, hey, God, you're God. You're my God. I got to prove that I'm like cool with God. So I'm going to take my son up to the top of a mountain. And even though I love that little guy, I'm just going to kill him for God. And I was like, I remember even just as a kid going like, how does this work exactly? And then at the very end, God goes like, whoa, hold off. Don't have to worry about it. Don't worry about killing your son. I was testing you to make sure that you were actually like a good, godly person. And I was like, whoa, man, that is like a seriously twisted story. Anyway.
He's playing COD.
FYI, the Bible story of the bears eating kids because they called a guy bald is 2 Kings 2:23-25. Yeah, God was like, psych. Exactly. Just kidding. I'm just teasing you. I'm not gonna really make you kill your kid.
It was just a prank.
Yeah, it was just a prank. Lucky I got you in time. There's apparently a lot of Jesus telling people not to judge though, and to love each other. Isn't it everyone else who is hurting and killing each other? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Catholic. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of these religions. There's a lot of religions preaches the whole idea of love thy brother and look after people and stuff. It's just kind of funny how. I mean, certainly, the Old Testament stuff that was a vengeful God, you know what I mean, from way back. And then even the new one, I think the New Testament, there's a lot of pretty some odd things that are suggested in that as well. But yes, I mean, I guess I think again, religion is what people make of it. I always I worry about anybody going to the book to we got to go to. It's I understand going to Google and looking things up and then researching and finding out an answer. I don't understand going to a Bible and finding an answer because I'm but someone just wrote that. They could have just made that up, couldn't they? That's my frustration with that. So, not really the Jesus part is really bad. He said, "I come not to bring peace, but a sword. I come to turn a son against his father." Blah 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 blah. One's enemies will be members of their own family. What's this? Not really the Jesus part is the really bad. The Bible is written by fallible humans. Exactly. I studied religious theology and philosophy before doing biology at uni. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. There you go. That's why he knows about the bears and the kids. I've never heard that one. I got to say, that was the bears and the kids was a new one. That was a quote from Jesus in the Bible, says Dinosaur Dave. But this is the funny thing is, which Bible, too, right? Because there were, a bunch of different Bibles. Didn't, there was, was it King James who decided, you know what? I don't like the Bible because it tells me that I'm not allowed to divorce my wife and marry someone else.
I don't know why, but this conversation has just reminded me of a very weird meme that I found. It's basically Bible 2. Jesus died for your sins, so now he'll make you die for yours.
Oh, it's like a sequel to the Bible? Well, that's Revelations. You should, honestly, dude, you want to read the most twisted stuff, read Revelations. That's about when God comes back and judges everybody, and it's that's the end of the world, and they talk about that's where they get the horsemen of the apocalypse and stuff. Is that the horsemen of the apocalypse? Or signs of the apocalypse. There was a lot of these horror movies you see that have demons and stuff, and it always has the signs of the apocalypse. All that is from Revelations. It's freaking crazy. It's it's like a horror sci-fi book. That thing doesn't make a lot of sense though. I feel like it was just a lot of confused people following Jesus around, not really knowing. Well, okay, yeah, a great movie for that to watch is The Life of Brian. Have you ever seen that Monty Python, The Life of Brian? It has one of the most, well, it has a lot of things in it, but there's one of the scenes that I remember stuck with me so much was the one where, there was people had decided that Jesus was a Messiah, and there's his mother's he's not a Messiah, he's just a naughty boy, it's that she's he's not, she's why are they worshiping this guy? So there was one group that was following him around, and he's this is kind of creepy. There's people following me around saying that I'm the Messiah, and then he drops his sandal comes off by accident, and someone grabs the sandal and says, "Oh my gosh, it's the sandal of Jesus!" And they start a whole religion based on the sandal. But then the sandal religion starts arguing with the other part of the religion, and it just how it instantly starts all these wars, which I thought was kind of funny. Is there a Brian? Brian? That's right. That is a fun movie to watch. If you want to watch a crazy movie, is The Life of Brian. Did I say Jesus? The Life of Jesus? I didn't mean that. It's The Life of Brian. Life of Jesus would be a very different story, I'm sure. Okay. I got to go and make sure that the kid is doing science, and I got to make sure that I know how to bake a pie. That's my goal, is to learn how to bake a pie or how to order pizza. One of the two. I'm thinking, right now I'm steering towards some kind of a chicken delivery is what I'm looking at right now. I love that you're talking so fast, just like McKay. Yeah, McKay didn't talk fast. I did. All right. Dorino. Say Brandon. I think I just did. Okay. Don't blow up the solar system. I'll try to. No, pumpkin pie. Ooh, that's a travesty. Pumpkin pie. All right. James R. Gurney. Perhaps we could work on maybe doing a Wednesday afternoon. Maybe not next Wednesday, or whatever. But maybe we should look at a Wednesday afternoon game if that's possible. I don't know if that works for you. If not, I just worry about weekends because my weekends are just a mess right now. Like I haven't even had I've hardly even managed to hit Tech Bandits for the last little while because there's just been so much going on. So, ciao, folks. Happy U.S. Oh my God, it's U.S. Thanksgiving. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, it is?
Fluffy Cat. Fluffy Cat's probably eating a turkey right now.
Thanksgiving's tomorrow, not today.
Oh, it's not today? Do you get to eat anything special? Like, are you deep frying your turkey? That's my question.
I don't think we're having a turkey this year.
Do you like turkey?
Yeah.
I have never tried deep fried turkey, but I think that would be my favorite thing on the planet.
It is. It's the most delicious thing.
Have you had it?
Yes, it is delicious.
Oh my God. See, I'm so jealous now. Now I want to order. Do you think I could order fried turkey?
Yeah.
But do you know how many people get hurt making those turkeys? Because you have to drop them into a giant tub of boiling peanut oil. And people are like, they're doing it on a propane cooker and they're like dropping the turkey in. Did you know if a turkey was frozen and you put it in a deep fryer, it will explode? Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Okay, let me test it.
Could you imagine if you go to you go to dinner for a Thanksgiving dinner and someone explodes the turkey? That's something that I feel that I would do somehow is explode the turkey. Wear gloves. I will be making a pumpkin pie. I don't eat turkey because it's bad for gout. Is it? Like specifically, turkey is bad for gout. I didn't know that. Alton Brown does a great show on how to fry a turkey. Oh, there you go. Sci-fi. That's good. So if you need tips, but you've decided no turkey this year. That's not on the cookbooks for Fluffy Cat today. What will you have instead? Give turkey burgers? What do you do? Like, what do you like? What do you?
I'm gonna have hot dog.
Oh, hot dogs. Turkey hot dogs?
Potatoes.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? A good hot dog, that kind of beats a turkey any day, if you ask me. Turkey flambe. I'm not celebrating actual Thanksgiving, but I'm eating well tomorrow. You know what, Paperclips? I'm eating well tonight. That's what I'm gonna do. And I've already had
food. No, you go ahead.
We've already had Thanksgiving. Did you have
Yeah,
turkey?
Thanksgiving again.
See, it used to be great because when I lived in California, my wife would do turkey for Thanksgiving in America and do Thanksgiving turkey in when it was Canadian as well. But for some reason, when we come up here, only turkey at Thanksgiving. And, well, turkey at Christmas as well. We do turkey at Christmas as well. It used to be any excuse Jane had to make a turkey, she would make it, and I loved her for it. And then the love died, and so did the turkey. That's what happened. I'm just mad at Jane because she went to England without me. I didn't really want to go. To be honest, I didn't want to go to England, so that's fine. So she's gonna have a great time. I love England. I just don't like traveling at all. Yeah, it's so sad about turkey and gout. Shrimp and asparagus is also bad. I had to cut those foods out, and I like all of those too. I think I'd just go with the gout watcher. I think I could not give up shrimp and turkey, I don't think. Asparagus I could probably live without, I think, maybe, but no. All right. 3 days until Mariah Carey is officially released for the season. Oh, dear God.
I know the best order food.
The best what?
Food that you can order.
Oh, what is it?
Swiss chalet.
I guess we could try Swiss chalet. I'm telling you got to try Nando's. We should do like a cooking show, and all we do is just order food.
I feel like that would be me.
Just eat food. That's it. All right, everybody. I'm gonna say goodbye. So I will say. Oh wait a second. Are you streaming today? Are you streaming? You gonna do some streaming?
No, it's
No. Not feeling it today.
no. I've just had an eventful day today.
Had a full day.
Not bad. Not bad. Just
yeah.
I don't want to add too much to it. I just kind of want to
You don't
eat
want to
and then lay
ruin.
down.
You don't want to ruin a perfect day. You just want to like
Yeah.
eat and chill out. Got it. No, I'm with you. I kind of feel like eating and chilling out now too. I do not feel like talking
just
about
eat
Christmas
and sleep.
though. Oh God.
All I want for
Christmas. Oh God. Bah humbug. I am the Grinch with a tiny little.
It's
cozy
already started at
heart.
some stores here.
No, I know it's everywhere. The Loblaws at the end of our street has like Christmas wreaths up and stuff, and I walk by and I go, bah, humbugs. That's what I do. All right, Jack Jastra, I'm so glad you could join us. I've got to leave. Yeah, sorry about that. Jack, I'm hoping to join you for a stream at some point, but I don't know when that's going to happen right now. So we'll have to just like, I hope, if you don't mind, just to play it by ear, because I'm not sure when I'm going to be around to do that. All right, how's that pie going, David? Yeah, really well. Paperclips is pointing out that I'm really, really bad about saying goodbye. I don't like saying goodbye. I don't like goodbyes. Okay, be safe, be kind, be brilliant, eat turkey, vote for Canada in the World Cup, and until we can again, I'll say cheerio and huzzah, and then I'll actually stop the stream. Otherwise, I end up talking for a long time while I'm streaming without knowing it, which is never a good thing for people. All right. See everyone. Thanks, Fluffy Cat. Thank you, Vibe Pup. James R. Gurney, of course, and Cal. Happy birthday, kid. Happy birthday, kid.
Attempting to.
Yeah. I'm still saying goodbye. Yeah, I'm still doing it. All right.